Hello, folks. We are going to be going over cellular respiration right now, or in this next lecture. Okay, so we talked last time about the structure of ATP and how it consists of a nitrogenous base, adenine, a 5-carbon sugar, ribose, which is also used in RNA, and 3 phosphate groups. We talked last time about the process of giving a phosphate group away, and that being called, oh goodness gracious, phosphorylation. Okay, and this energizes because that's what ATP does. And what cellular respiration does is it makes ATP for our body to use to energize things that need to happen in the body. So this starts out in the cytoplasm, where a molecule of glucose, okay, glucose right here, is converted into 2 pyruvate molecules. In this process, we are going to produce 2 ATP molecules total, okay, in addition to what's called NADH, and that is an electron carrier, okay? And we're going to use that when we get to the electron transport chain in a few steps, so keep that in mind. So now what the next step is to take that pyruvic acid or pyruvate that we created from the glucose molecules and the process of glycolysis. And then we're going to take that and we are going to combine it with what's called coenzyme A right here. And we are going to, again, generate our electron carrier, NADH, and we are going to utilize carbon dioxide. This is where when you breathe in carbon dioxide, this is one of the places it's used. Okay, so we combine coenzyme A, pyruvic acid, and carbon dioxide, or we give off carbon dioxide, sorry, when we combine coenzyme A and pyruvic acid to get acetyl-CoA. Okay, and then we give off CO2, which is what we breathe out. There we are. And then we take that acetyl-CoA and we put it into what's called the citric acid or the Krebs cycle. It's also called Krebs cycle. Okay, and what that does is it generates a few ATP, okay, but not many. We generate some more CO2, and we also generate another electron carrier, FADH2. The next step, oh dear, I did not realize how poor this came out, is the electron transport chain itself. And the electron transport chain is a set of molecules that supports a series of chemical reactions that generate ATP. There is I'm not going to go into detail about these 2 items here right now. You can look that up more in your book. But how the electron transport chain works is sort of like a staircase, okay? And your NADH and your FADH2 are going to be carrying E- or electrons, okay? And then each time they go down a step, they're going to kick off an electron, which is going to give us a molecule of ATP. And this is going to happen enough times for us to generate around 34 ATP, okay, from the electron transport chain. Now, this isn't the only way that our bodies can make ATP. Okay, so lactic acid fermentation, you may have heard of that before. Lactic acid is caused by muscles that have become exhausted by use. And this happens when your body reaches what's called aerobic capacity, or the ability for your body to oxygenate the cells in its body. and to keep up enough with the amount of work that your body's doing. If you exceed your aerobic capacity, that means that your body cannot oxygenate your cells as quickly as it needs to continue to give you the energy you need to continue whatever activity it is that you're doing. So in that case, what happens, again in the cytoplasm, is that your body takes glucose, it puts it through glycolysis and gives us our 2 pyruvate molecules. And then we are going to anaerobically, okay, anaerobic, an means without, aerobic means air. So anaerobic means without air. So fermentation is an anaerobic process, meaning it doesn't take oxygen to occur. Okay, so we generate lactate from this process, and we also generate an electron carrier that we can put into the electron transport chain and get a few ATP molecules, and we can also generate a few ATP molecules from lactic acid fermentation. This is why if you run up stairs really fast or a lot of stairs all at once and your muscles burn, what the burning feeling is lactic acid production by your body. There's another type of fermentation that's utilized in nature quite often, and that is alcohol fermentation. So this process is showing whereby pyruvic acid after glycolysis, so we have oops, there's an L in there. Glycolysis occurring and then producing pyruvic acid for us. And then we break this down into carbon dioxide and acetaldehyde. If you ever got your nails done, you know that acetaldehyde is a element of nail polish remover. And then we take that, is that acetaldehyde or acetaldehyde? No, that's the wrong thing. Never mind, I didn't say that. Oh, getting my words messed up here. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I miss up an H with an M. Or any letters really. Anyhow, so then we take that acetaldehyde and we convert it into ethanol, which is alcohol. We use this to make wine, cheese, beer, and bread. The way that we use it to make bread is because CO2 is a byproduct, okay? And that CO2 is actually what allows bread to rise when it's in the oven. So your body can metabolize, it likes carbohydrates, large carbohydrates, polysaccharides like starch or cellulose to use for energy. So carbohydrates are number one. Your body can also use amino acids and glycerol to put through glycolysis if you're low on glucose intake or carb intakes, if you don't have access to it. Then your body can take fatty acids and actually use them in pyruvate oxidation so that you can then go into the citric acid cycle and then have cellular respiration. Occurring in completion. And then last but not least, your body will then take your proteins, break it down into amino acids, and put it into the citric acid cycle. So this is why when you see photos of people that have been starving, that they're very, very thin. And what happens first is you lose your fat stores, and then you lose your muscle stores, and then you die. And this takes a period of time depending on what your activity level is and your access to water and stress. So your body can digest things and use things other than simple glucose and carbohydrates for cellular respiration to break down and make into ATP for your body to use for energy. Keep our ink annotations. All right. Have a great day.